Welcome to the Glitter Boom Girls Show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Robbie-Ann McPherson in Buffalo, New York, and 3,000 miles away from me is Amy Asbury. What's up, Amy?
Hey, everybody.
So we're going to jump right into this just like we did last time because we're continuing our discussion of food. Stuff you consume, candy, cereal, TV dinners, stuff our moms made us, stuff that's not available anymore.
Nostalgic food, discontinued food,
Yeah.
crazy food.
Food nostalgia.
Why did they make it? Yes.
Yeah, exactly. We should probably have a discussion too about what was in that.
Right?
Like back in the day when food chemical study was new. So okay, we were just in between before we started the podcast here. Amy was looking up some stuff, and we were talking about in our last podcast Hawaiian Punch, and that little Hawaiian Punch guy. Like what was he? You know, was he like a grimace where he has no discernible species, or what? So Amy, tell our friends here what you found.
Okay, well, his name was Punchy, and people who are really into advertising might have already known this, but he was a little guy with a little red, it turns out it's a hat. I thought it was little red dreadlocks, but he was wearing a blue and white striped tunic of sorts. Anyway, in the 50s, actually it was 1962, there's his first commercial. Punchy is walking up to a tourist, I guess it's Hawaiian tourist, right? You guys, he punches the guy in the face.
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch? Sure.
Oh, he decked him.
He decked him in the face, and that was
and then he just goes dancing away.
Where was Don Draper?
Don
Where was Don Draper? This is insane.
I think Don
and
Draper.
And the tagline was, "How about a nice Hawaiian punch?" It's like, seriously?
That's like the Bugs Bunny, one lump or two, boom, boom. You know.
I mean, that was funny, but I feel shook because I just love that guy.
Yeah, well, anyway. Punching. I don't know.
Cheap shot.
It's the wrong message, I think.
And I was wrong about Jay Ward. He did not create this guy. It was an ad agency. Just so you guys know. But anyway, that's all. And then Robbie was talking about a cereal called Freakies.
Oh, Freakies.
Of course, I didn't get that because it wasn't made out of bark, so that was not in my home.
And of course, I did because it was made out of pure sugar mixed with corn syrup.
Okay, so we took a look at the commercial for Freakies. It was probably the worst commercial I've ever seen. These little guys, these little freaks, were in front of a tree, and they were all doing like a vaudeville act with little straw boater hats.
It was the Freakies. Like they were a gang. They were like a gang of these like misshapen things, and little plastic one. You know, one came in every box of Freakies, and you'd collect, like I think it even said in the ad, collect them all, you know, or whatever with the little exclamation points. But
specially marked packages.
Inside each specially marked package. Batteries not included.
So excited about that.
Oh, yes.
Especially marked 100%. Packages was so exciting.
Yeah, because there were some cereals, like Life cereal, no toys. Mm-hmm. Cheerios, no toys.
Okay, but I have to disagree because the craziest my mother would go was Golden Grams. Of course, orange, gold, and brown, the box. I really wanted to punch right through that.
Oh,
anyway, we did get a Golden Grams Frisbee once because we sent away the UPC codes and we got a Golden Grams Frisbee.
You actually did it?
My mother did.
You cut the shit off the box
and
sent it away?
Every single box top to this day.
I'm impressed. Like, I'm really impressed. The only thing that I ever did like that was I sent away for the Bionic Woman fan club. Like,
oh, wow.
There was a thing when you bought the doll, you sent, the stuff in for the...
Well, I did the same for the Cabbage Patch. They give you a really crappy name and you want to change it to an 80s name like Shannon or Jenny or Kelly. So you send it in. Instead of Ethel Bertha, Ethel Bertha.
Well, I already had a garbage pale kid named after me, Slobby Robbie. So I did.
That's so cute.
Right.
Listen, I got the names of the Freakies here for you. So tell me if you remember the names.
Wait, let me guess. No, I only know one.
Okay,
I only
so the
remember
leader
one.
of the Freakies. Do you remember the leader of the Freakies, the green guy?
That was Floss Moss, right?
Close. That was Boss Moss.
Oh, Boss
He was
Moss.
the boss.
Floss Moss.
Then there was the one that looked kind of like an octopus. Do you remember him?
No, I don't remember any of the others. The only reason I remember
shy.
Boss Moss is because of the song. They call him Boss Moss. This is the big boss. They call him Boss Moss. Make sure you get it right. That's the only reason I remember him.
That is so vaudeville. Okay, so Ham Hose was the one with the creepy. And then there was Snorkeldorf. He had like the elephant trunk, and he was blue. He was supposed to be the best looking freaky. Then there was Grumble. He was that pissed off orange one with frog feet.
Oh, Grumble. Okay, yeah, I remember Grumble. Yeah.
And then there was Cow Mumble. Cow Mumble was the sweet freaky, and it was the girl. She was a sweet little girl. There's two more. There's Gargle. He had a really wide, like, Diggum the frog mouth. He was supposed to be super intellectual. You know, every toy, there was, like, the smart one. Like the Smurfs. You know, Brainy and Vanity and, you know, Sneezy. It's like the Seven Dwarfs.
Right.
Then the last one was called Goody Goody, and it was the little pink one. Oh, maybe there was two girls.
Wait, what
anyway,
was the one before the what was the one after Boss Moss?
Ham Hose.
Oh,
Ham. Why do you like Ham Hose? Ham Hose is supposedly in a garden hose. He spends so much time, as much as he can, in a garden hose.
What?
These people are on, I feel like an old man saying this, but these people must have been on dope. I feel like Mr. Hand right now because he thought this shit up.
Are you on dope? Probably. Yeah. But hey man, when I was a kid, I demanded that it worked, right? Because, I'm watching Bugs Bunny on Saturday mornings, and I see the Freakies ad, and I have 2 of the Freakies, and collect them all. So I got to have, the rest of the 6. So mom's going to the grocery store, and I either bum a ride with her, and I'm like,
to go with her?
Oh, she took me with her all the time because I was I was labor, right? Okay. I was like, oh, help me with this, but I'd be like bobbing up and down behind her, like, ma, can I get this? Can I get that? And I had this armful of like chocolate, sugar, whatever, sodas and stuff, and then she would ship me to the cereal aisle because remember, back in the day, the cereal aisle was also the toy aisle.
That's right.
Right?
Damn straight.
Back
those
in
little
the
nails
day
that you put on your fingers, they went all the way around your finger.
And those little plastic high heel shoes, they were like made out of plastic. Just this array of like cheap junk that was all just like, hey kid,
Woolly Willy, or what was that thing where you pulled the little vinyl out? You wrote on the little thing of vinyl and you pulled it. And then there's the guy with the magnet. You put the beard on that guy.
Oh yeah, that guy.
That was there.
And those little those little snaky things that were all fuzzy, and it had a string, and you would like pull the string with the little snake, and it was supposed to do these tricks. Never worked.
Never worked.
It was like sea monkeys. You sent
what
away
else
for
was
the
there was this really horrible smelling, and I still like the smell of those bubbles with the little crack pipe that came with it, the little red tube.
Oh God, yeah, I love those. Yeah,
a little hole would always pop in it, but every once in a while you'd get one.
What kind of like love canal shit was that? Like we're all inhaling this stuff and blowing these bubbles. I mean, it baffles me to this day. Not to give the impression that I did not have every single one of those toys.
Oh yeah.
But they used to have the toy aisle and the cereal aisle. So my mother would banish me to the cereal aisle, and that was like her way of, just all right, go pick out a cereal you want, and let me do my shopping without you bobbing around behind me going, ma, with like 15 Hershey bars and all this stuff. And can we get one of these? Can we get one of those?
But you know what, Rob? The problem with letting us go on our own, besides the fact that I almost got abducted in 1978 by 2 guys that looked like they came out of Welcome Back, Kotter.
Like sweat hogs?
They look like 2, but they had they both had afros. One was white, one was black, but they both had a fro. And they were wearing like Starskin Hutch jackets, and they were like, hey, little girl. Literally. But that was the 70s. It happened to me like every Tuesday. But anyways,
Oh my God,
the
that's terrifying.
problem with letting the kid go on their own to the cereal aisle was that Brock's candy, pick your own candy mix,
Ah,
because that's where we all first shoplifted. We all first had the decision to make. We had free will. Will you shoplift the Neapolitan candy? Will you shoplift the royal, what were they called? Royals? Little baguette shaped, twisted on both ends and jewel tones. Beautiful
the ones with jelly
Brock's
in the middle?
candy. No, there was a nougat in the middle. Some were
Oh,
strawberry.
oh God, that sounds disgusting.
Oh, it was delish. My grandma had it. Anyway, so then everybody bought candy dishes because now there's this Brock's Pick-a-Mix that your grandma
Yeah.
had to fill up in the candy dish. And then Rob, I know you must have been tempted to take a candy as I was.
You know, I never did because I was such a little rule follower when I was a little kid. I never stole anything. I never I mean, if if someone I'm going to get a text message from somebody like, "Oh yeah, well I remember." But I honestly I don't remember. I mean, the worst thing I remember is at Woolworths once. I had to buy a ruler for school, and so I had this wooden ruler in my hand, and my parents were checking out, and I don't know, I was probably 7. And I was kind of like, I was like a little kid. Like I was like hanging on the rail and, swinging around. And I was just sort of like lollygagging. And the cashier didn't notice that I had the ruler in my hand. So we walked out and I went, oh my God, I stole this ruler. And I made my parents were like, oh, we got to go back in. And I'm like, yeah, it was 39 cents. I kept that ruler for years and years. Yeah, I was way too square. I didn't think about that. Like I would have been too frightened.
I feel like I was square too, but in my head, they were loose. They weren't packaged. Something told me that it was okay.
It was opportunity.
And that, hey, I'm a kid. It was the hill I wanted to die on. I was like, I will die on this hill because that's candy right there. It's not even packaged.
Yeah, I think I might have been just too afraid of authority. I was very afraid of authority as a kid. So I probably just, but I wouldn't put it past me though to fill a bag full of the butterscotch candy because that's all I was interested in, and then like throw it in my mom's cart.
My grandmother got those sugared lemon drops. They look like little lemons, and they had a sugar, like a powdery sugar over them.
Yeah, those were good. I did like those. I wasn't a lemon candy girl, but I would eat those in a pinch if there wasn't any other sugar.
I don't think I actually liked them. I think it was the crunch berry theory where there really just wasn't anything else.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not the crunch berry theory, but there just was nothing else. So those were good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember us having a candy dish, but my grandma, of course.
I think grandmothers did.
Yeah. She had like a multi-tiered candy situation. Like there was like a bowl at the bottom that was full of all the little wrapped hard candies, and she had a lot of those jewel colored like grape strawberry ones that were filled with goo, like some kind of gooey fruity thing, and so you'd suck on it and all of a sudden this goo would like ooze out.
Remember like Freshen Up gum?
Yeah, it was like Freshen Up gum.
Freshen Up, you're like, ah!
Right, but it was like hard
So
candy.
crazy.
Yeah, I loved Freshen Up Spearmint. That was great stuff. Can you still get Freshen Up now?
I don't know, but it was so strong my eyes watered.
Oh, I loved that gum.
It was pretty good.
But the other thing my grandma had was the ribbon candy. Did your grandma have the ribbon candy?
She didn't, but you know what? I still buy it for Christmas and I put it out around. I make a tower of sweets because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants it, but it's just so pretty. I just insist that it's in my home during Christmas.
Oh, I ate that stuff. Yeah, I ate it all. Candy canes, ribbon candy.
It's just pretty.
Yeah, I loved those watermelons. Those were good too. The watermelon candies.
Watermelon candies?
Yeah.
Were they shaped like watermelon? Or you mean
no,
the ones from Hickory Farms?
Yeah, they were like a oval with a little indent, and they were really tart, like super tart.
Those didn't have any words on them.
They did.
Are you talking about the ones from Hickory Farms where the twisty part was green and the rest of it was red?
Well, no, aren't those strawberries? No, those are strawberries.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Because they had the
You scared
strawberry
me.
package.
You
No.
done scared me.
The watermelon candies, were they? I should have looked this up, but were they Brock's? The watermelon candies.
I'm about to find out.
I remember them in clear packaging. And they were
now
oval
I can
shaped,
rest assured.
and they were sort of clear. You know, it was like but they were kind of thick, and just super tart.
All right, I'll look them up.
Oh, you know what's funny? So I just Googled watermelon candies, and those strawberry friggin'
Yeah, see,
nut
you
fruit
gave me a heart
whatever
attack.
ones came
You
up.
gave me a heart attack. I
Yeah.
was like, can I still be her friend if she likes those strawberry candy from Hickory Farms?
Oh, you know what's coming up too? Remember the watermelon candies that were like they were like gummy bears, but they had sugar coating on
Yes.
them? I hated those. Those
Me
were
too.
gross. And my great grandmother had a little it was like a little bodega shop here in Buffalo over in it's a section of town called Black Rock, and a lot of Polish people, which I'm half, and that she had owned all this property over there. So she sold a ton of candy, and when my cousin Michelle and I would go in there when we were little, she was alive till I was about 7, and she would be like, "Get whatever you want." So I mean, I would just reach my arm out, you know, and like bend it at the elbow and just swoop like a giant pile of candy into my shirt, you know. And I ate a lot of chocolate, like all those peanut butter cups and Hershey bars and all that kind of stuff. Kit Kats. I ate a ton of Kit Kats. And she also had the gum that was shaped like hamburgers. You know,
so they still have that at the Rich. They have that right now.
stop it.
Oh yeah.
What is that made out of? Like, because it tasted weird.
Yeah.
It tasted like it was almost floury or something. Like
I like that flowery. That's like bubble tape is like that. I'm sure you haven't tried that, but
no. Bubble
that's
Yum
too
was
90s.
good.
Bubble Yum and Bubblicious. Bubblicious is a little too grainy. I could taste
Oh,
sugar grain.
I love. Well, you know that was my.
I was a
gum, like
Hubba
sugar.
Bubba original flavor fan.
Hubba Bubba.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was delicious. It was delicious.
I liked those juicy
Bubble Yum,
fruits too. I like the juice, but juicy fruits lasted like 30 seconds, and then you had to spit
Wait,
it
just
out.
for gum?
Yeah,
Oh, Rob.
yeah.
Okay, you know what? This is where my sight.
Oh no, Robbie.
Oh no, Robbie! My sight and my taste buds would get into an argument every time my grandmother bought me fruit stripe gum because the packaging was so divine.
Mm-hmm.
Fruit stripe gum. There was one with purple, red, and yellow and pink, and then the other one was red, yellow, and green. You know, and the stripes, kind of a zebra stripe gum, and then
Yeah.
of course you chew it and it would turn to nothing.
Yeah,
But it was so beautiful.
it had a shelf life of like 5 chews, and that
It
was
was
it.
so pretty though, the package.
Yeah, it was great. I liked the little zebra on it. That was cute.
Me too.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember these pops that were yellow, green, and red, and it was like an ombre kind of thing. They were a
Astro Pop.
Astro Pops. That's what it was. Do you know that
Damn.
they gave me migraines? Like, I don't know what was in those, but those things gave me migraines.
Oh, they still have those too. And you know what? My sister would suck hers until such a point she could shank you with that thing.
I used to do that to candy canes. Yeah, that was the point of like no pun intended, of like, you know, a stick hard candy. Like those I loved those. They were like pretzel rods, but they were candies, and they were striped. They came in butterscotch and lime and grape and cherry. Those were awesome. I ate a lot of those. Yeah.
You know what? I got some ingredients here for Astro Pop.
Oh, lay them on me.
Old fashioned.
Lay them on me.
It says
I bet.
original-
Is there red dye number 5 in there?
I'll tell you right now. Listen to me. Original old fashioned Astro Pop. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
First of all, they're kosher certified.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay. Wow, there's barely any ingredients, you guys, but here they are. Sugar, corn syrup, both, not just one. Water, artificial flavors. Color added includes red 40, yellow 5, and blue 1, and glycerin. That's it.
Red 40. Now, but that's interesting because red 40 didn't exist until it didn't exist back then. Didn't red dye number 40 replace red dye number 5? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, so maybe they just put this name back on it. Like, we made these like they used to be.
Yeah, because when I was little, not to sidetrack from our food discussion, but I got my first migraine when I was 6 years old. After
6?
Yeah, 6 years old. After I had eaten like 4 donuts. I know. And I had five glasses of Strawberry Quick milk. And Strawberry Quick had red dye number 5 in it. And to this day, red dye number 40 is a migraine trigger for me. Like, I can't drink Clamato and Gatorade and a lot of red drinks because they're migraine triggers. And red dye number 5 was also a migraine trigger. And I'm not sure, they found something really awful about red dye number 5. It was in red M&Ms. Remember red M&Ms disappeared for a while? And then
they did, and it says red dye 40 is made from coal tars. Oh,
jeez. Well,
straight up coal tars.
Straight up coal tar. I'm 5 years old. I'm chugging 5 glasses of coal tar. No wonder I had a migraine.
All right, and then red dye. Wait, keep talking. I'll tell you about red dye 5.
Yeah, so then I got a migraine really bad, and I threw up all over the side of my dad's International Scout.
Wait, what is that, a car?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's not just a car. International Scout. Anything else is just a car. Yeah, it was like a forerunner to the Ford Bronco, like a 4-wheel drive kind of thing. And I was in the back seat having just consumed 4 donuts and 5 glasses of Strawberry Quick.
Was your mother there, and did she say her line?
Oh yeah. It was funny because we were driving home from a weekend at our friend, my dad's friend in Vermont, and it was like a little weekend family thing. And I'm in the back seat, and I mean, I have a horrific headache, and I'm sick to my stomach, and I'm like, Dad, and he's driving, and he's like, just lie down, you'll be fine. Just lie down, you'll be fine. Dad, no, really. And I'm crying because my head hurts so bad, and I was trying to explain it. Finally, I just got up, and the windows in the back seat, you would slide it instead of roll it up. It was like a bus window,
right.
Like you'd slide the thing. So I slid it, and I stuck my head out and just threw up, and the wind like blew it all over the side of the car. And that was the, oh no, Robbie!
We've all done that.
Yeah, because we should clarify in case you haven't heard part 1 of this one. When I was a little kid, I thought my name was Oh No Robbie because I was always doing something that made my mother unhappy. Oh no, Robbie! Look what you did. I just heard that over and over again. Because I didn't mean it. I never meant it. I was just.
Well, of course not. You were a child.
No, but I mean, I was like making projects, and I'd be building a little town out of shoe boxes or something, and I'd make a mess out of all kinds of stuff, and I'd borrow like glasses and silverware for little town things, or and she'd be looking for her spatula.
That's very creative.
Well, I was creative, but I think I interfered with mom's routines a lot. She'd like go to find something and it was gone, and she'd look around the house. Oh no, Robbie! Oh no.
Oh, that's cute though.
And I would usually hear it from some other part of the house, so it was like, oh no, Robbie! And then I would just like burrow under my covers or something, like, oh God, what did I do now? Oh no, I can't even remember. Yeah. Anyway, so sorry we got off track, but I think that was one of the red dye number 5 was a big deal, and then it was in everything though, like everything red had some kind of
for sure
had that stuff in it. And what's funny about the Astropop ingredients is look how sly they are. Artificial flavors.
Right.
Like that could mean, 800 million camlaba phosphoxide,
I mean, I just
chemicals.
think of Tang. My face would like break out in hives every time I tried to drink Tang, so
Yeah, what was in
forget
Tang?
it. I have no idea. I
Yeah,
think
look.
they kind of slapped on the word astronaut every time it was some weird thing, you
Yeah,
know?
they acted like it was orange juice and it was basically orange Kool-Aid.
I don't
Like
know what that was. That was
what,
scary.
what I mean, it was just orange Kool-Aid. It was powdered sugar with orange flavor. No big deal. I wasn't into that though in a drink. Like orange pop. I didn't like orange pop, didn't like Tang. I didn't like orange
It's
candies. I didn't like
I,
fake orange.
who wanted oranges? Because it was too fruity. And it's funny because I'm looking at these banned additives, stuff that we used all the time.
Mhm.
Orange number two, banned organ damage, liver cancer. It's not funny, you guys, but it's just so like insane.
Well, yeah,
Red number four,
but it goes to
it's just
show
crazy.
you what we were eating back then. Like I know nowadays we look at what we're eating and we're like, "Oh, this isn't real food and this genetically modified stuff and, all that." But back then, oh my God. I mean, what was in a Salisbury steak?
You know what
What was
the
in those TV dinners?
okay, so organ failure for all the reds, but the yellows, heart damage, like straight up heart damage and intestinal lesions.
Yeah, like the
Anyway, that's dark.
chemical,
That's dark.
food additive companies were, they had all these labs and they're making all this secret stuff. And I think back then the rules for the ingredients weren't quite as stringent as they are now. Like now with organic labels and there's a whole gluten-free uproar and all this stuff. The labels have gotten a little bit more stringent. And now when you say natural flavors though, natural flavors can cover food additive sins too.
I'm so over it. I got so paranoid about all of this stuff that I'm just over it. Like I basically I still love those old candies and I love the packaging and I'm not going to go eat Astro Pops. But it's gone so far that I need a break. I need a break from it. It's too crazy.
Yeah, I hear that. Like when you get older, you have to eat better, but I'm going to tell you right now,
Okay.
even though
Yes.
I am celiac and I cannot eat gluten, there is a can of SpaghettiOs in my cupboard right now cuz there's going to be a day
Yeah.
in at some point before that can goes bad where I just need to curl up in a figurative fetal position and sit with like a thing of Pepsi and eat that can of spaghetti with meatballs, of course. Eat that can of SpaghettiOs. I will pay for it, but there's something about that childhood
It
quasi
comforts
food.
you.
Yeah, yeah, and exactly that's what it is. It's comforting because it's something I ate when I was a little kid, and the I mean, 2 bites in, you're like, ugh.
That's how I feel about rice-a-roni. I used to come home from school. I'd ride this awful bus home with like the public bus with all these people trying to molest me the whole way home. Like I had this horrible bus ride home and I'd get home and I'd make a whole pan of rice-a-roni and I'd sit there and turn on whatever and eat my rice-a-roni. And now for comfort reasons, I will still make a box of rice-a-roni, but I can only get 2 bites in, Rob.
Wow.
It's God love rice-a-roni, God love you,
Does
but
that have it probably has MSG in it too, right?
oh, the box is like 19 cents, so
Rice Aroni, the
Oh,
San Francisco treat.
and the yellow flavor, I guess it's supposed to be chicken, was so bright it would look like Gatorade. It was the
There's your
neon.
liver damage.
I was like heart damage.
Oh, heart damage, yeah.
And I loved Gatorade. It was just some lemon lime Gatorade with some rice-a-roni. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Kool-Aid with what do you call those? Oh my God, the word flew out of my head. Ah,
All right, I have a question for you. What was your mother's
electrolytes.
go-to meal?
Ah,
Oh, electrolytes.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
sorry.
cute.
I just had a
What
word.
was your mother's go-to family meal?
Oh, go-to family meal. Um, Well, yeah, I got to give my mom a lot of credit because for the first few years of my life, she was well, and before I was born, she was an army wife, so bouncing around, moving around. And then after we moved a few times, and I don't know, my family wasn't all that conventional. So she, she had some challenges just trying to like keep a normal house. And so I would have to say I remember eating tacos. She used to have taco night, which was probably my favorite. Where she'd do the bowls, like she'd have a bowl of the beef and then a
I
bowl
still
of the
do that. How
right?
funny.
Oh, I love that. I
But
love
did she
that.
give you the hard taco shells
Yeah, we would get the
or a piece
Ortego
of tortilla?
shells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we also had geez, you're going to laugh, okay? But
What?
my mom made the best tuna casserole. I swear to God, it was so good. I know it sounds gross. It's the tuna with noodles and peas and carrots and like, I don't know, something else in it. But it was really, really good. I loved it. I
Good for
totally loved
you.
it. Yeah, and she made good meatloaf. She still does. Yeah, she makes meatloaf now, gluten-free for me, of course. But
That's nice.
yeah, and she'll freeze some and bring it over, which is very nice. How about you? What was your kid meal? Your mom's
My kid
go-to?
meal, my mother would make pork chops. I'm not going to say applesauce. She would get the shake and bake, but she would get oven fry because it had bigger chunks. It wasn't just an orange powder. It was more of a breadcrumb.
Oh,
And she'd stick it in a little bag, kind of like Dudley's shake and egg,
yeah.
for
Okay.
Easter. And she'd shake it up and she would cook them on a cookie sheet. And we would have salad, which was really just like iceberg lettuce, like the whitest iceberg lettuce. It like wasn't even a vegetable. It had no nutritional anything. It was just white little with like a whole entire can of garbanzo beans for me. And so much salad dressing. Basically the salad was made very calorie dense by the way I dressed my salad. And
There's
and
never
then
enough dressing ever.
for the vegetable, it would always be some kind of canned, God love her, thank you, Mom, but canned slop, like some Del Monte French green beans, or string beans, like the little, like, they're like gray, Rob.
Yeah, yeah, and they're all soggy and floppy and
Like
salty.
that texture, I remember going, like, just, ugh. And of course, they were sit there until you finish it, and, stick it right in my napkin and toss that napkin straight into the potted plant. But yeah, just kind of a sloppy, mushy, boiled, canned, some kind of vegetable. And then what was the other thing? I don't know, some kind of potato. Some kind of potato. Yeah.
Mom made
So
a
I
lot of
loved it.
scallop potatoes, those ones
Well,
from the box.
that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's lovely. I love a scallop potato, but there would always be a couple really hard pieces in there where you're like, wait a second, this is not a potato.
Oh, I like the hard pieces.
You like the hard
Yeah, because
pieces?
they'd have like the cheesy part, and yeah, we had spaghetti too a lot. Yeah, I don't know. My mom was pretty creative.
You're almost creative.
You know what we haven't talked about is
What?
restaurants when you were a kid.
Well,
Like-
out here, Sizzler. If you went to Sizzler,
Sizzler.
that was a special occasion.
Real now is Sizzler like Ponderosa where they would give you the little triangle about how you want your steak, like medium or whatever. Is that a tray thing or do they wait on you?
Was it a tray thing? I think it might have been a tray thing in the later 80s.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Because
I think we went up there and ordered like a cafeteria now that I'm thinking about it.
yeah, because did you have Ponderosas out there?
No.
Oh, okay. Ponderosa. Gonna get a square meal, square deal at Ponderosa. Ponderosa was, it was the same way. It was like you'd go through the line with a tray, and you would tell them, oh, I want a steak or whatever, and they'd say, how do you want your steak? And you'd say medium, and then they'd give you a little plastic, like, placard thing that you'd put on your tray for how
Yes.
you wanted, and then you'd go through the line and I'll take the mashed potatoes and I'll have a side of this and that and whatever and gravy. And then by the end of the line, you get your steak. And and sometimes they'd bring it out
Wow.
to you.
No, we had a waiter bring it out. Yeah, we had a waiter, but Each steak did have a little pick in it that told you what it was.
Classy.
It was like steak, seafood, salad. And that's when I very first saw a salad bar, was at Sizzlers. It was so hip.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Remember when salad bars were like new? It was like,
Oh,
wow, you can get
wow.
it yourself?
My mom's like, I'm going to the salad bar. We're like, wow. All right.
Yeah. Okay. We had this restaurant here called Red Barn. Did you guys have those? It looked like a
Mm-mm.
giant barn, like the building, it had the barn roof and stuff. And they had the self-serve drinks. So they'd give you the giant red plastic cup with the shaved ice, and you'd go and
Ooh.
you'd get your own drink, which to me was
Ooh.
like, when I was 7, I was like, oh my God, I'm such a grown up. I'm getting my own drink. And like I can fill it up to the top, or I can have it with no
Very top.
ice, or I can mix up two. And then they had a
You had
sundae
freedom.
bar. Yeah. So you can make your
Ooh.
own sundae. That was always the birthday pick for me when I was little. Like, okay, where are we going for dinner? I'd be like, Red Barn. I want to go to Red Barn. I don't think
Sizzler
there are
had
anymore.
had this cheese bread. It was kind of like Texas toast, and it was kind of like an orange, crispy color, and it was thick bread, really thick bread, and that was the best.
That
And then there would be
sounds good.
steaks with these fake grill lines in them,
No.
and they were so oily. And then there would be like a ton of fried shrimp, all you can eat fried shrimp, and just tons of
Oh,
fried seafood with all this like garnish. And it was
where
just like,
like the shrimp is like the size of a cashew, but there's like 2 inches of batter around it.
I never ordered it. I got a steak and like 50 pieces of bread. And I remember there was a Sizzler right by Zuma Beach. So we'd go to Zuma, and on the way home, we'd go into Sizzler, and it was so damn dark in there. You felt it was all fancy. It was awesome.
Yeah, dark restaurants felt fancy, right?
Oh, yeah. If you couldn't see who was across from you, you're like, wow,
Yeah. And if they had like, because
big.
the ambient lighting, Burger King, McDonald's, all the fast food places, it was like hospital lighting, super
It
bright.
was.
But, if you went into a place that had like ground round, did you guys have those out
No,
there?
so what's that?
Oh my God. Okay. Ground round, for those of you in the eastern part of the US. Like we have listeners all over the US.
Of
But
course we
we used to go to this place. They had old movies playing all the time, like old silent movies, like Charlie Chaplin movies and Buster Keaton and stuff. And they would run them on like an old projector, so it was like, it was making all these
That's kind of
noises.
neat. I like that
Yeah, oh, it was super
idea.
cool. And you could get peanuts in the shell and popcorn, and you could throw the peanut shells on the floor. And like that was, I mean, I couldn't believe you could do that. Wow, you can eat this. I can eat this peanut. Like I can crack open the shell
You felt like a
and
rule
just,
breaker.
yeah, I was like a rebel. I could throw it on the floor. And they had,
Wow.
it was very set up like almost like a 1920s speakeasy or something like that. Like, the servers, I sort of remember like red stripes and suspenders or something like that. Or and there was a guy on the logo that had like the handlebar mustache,
So it was supposed to be like Victorian turn of the century or something, or what was
Well,
it?
yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was that. Maybe it was the turn of the century thing. But they had the old popcorn maker,
Oh,
and
I
like
love that.
a
Now, did
fake
you all
monkey
have?
with the symbols, ting 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 ting, like stuff like that, and checkered tablecloths. It was really there was a lot going on visually in the place.
Did
Very
you
much
all
so.
have Farrell's ice cream parlor?
No, I don't think so. I don't remember that.
Well, everyone who's listening to this, please Google Farrell's ice cream parlor. It had a player piano and red velvet wallpaper
Oh
and
my
kind of everything you're saying. And
God!
that was a big thing for those of us in the San Fernando Valley. We loved our Farrell's.
Where
And
are
when you
those places
ordered,
now?
they don't have them anymore. I think there's actually one in Orange County somewhere now. But the most wonderful thing would be you could order these giant 20 scoop ice creams for your party if you were having a birthday party, and it would come out on a stretcher. There was a hole cut in a stretcher, and there's a guy banging a big bass drum, and he's wearing a straw boater hat and suspenders. And there's a huge siren, like a serious like fire engine siren, and they run through the whole restaurant. And sometimes they'd throw confetti on you and pretend they're spilling stuff on you. It was out of control. That's the Valley for you.
Oh, Aim, I love that. Like, I would have my birthdays there all the time. That sounds so much fun.
Tamer and Aaron had their birthday there, and they were so lucky.
Well, but remember this, as we discussed in the pilot episode about how we met at the quote-unquote famous deli where you and I were both servers. Can you imagine what it was like to work at Farrell's and like...
there's a giant candy counter with giant jawbreakers and lollipops. It was beautiful, and they were just a bunch of teenagers having a grand old time.
Oh, that's so cool. I love
and
that.
You know what's funny, Rob? We talk about food. We met around quite a bit of food.
That's right. We met around, what was that soup called with the dumplings in it? Hot and spicy?
Kreplach?
No, not the kreplach. It was like a beef stew.
Hungarian. Oh, goulash?
Nah, it wasn't goulash. It was something else.
Something about barley, like mushroom barley.
No,
I'm like remembering
it wasn't
every soup
barley.
right now from that deli.
Well, there was the matzo ball, there was the kreplach, there was the mushroom barley, and then there was this weird. It was like a tomato base, and it had sausage in it and vegetables and these
That's
weird
the
dumplings. That was goulash?
Yeah. Oh, borscht. Was it borscht with beets?
No. This was like it was like a tomato based soup. Yeah, I thought it was a spicy something. Anyway, that was really good. I loved that soup. That's usually what I borrowed for lunch. Because they didn't feed us otherwise.
Oh no, they made me whatever I wanted. Full on, I'd get like an egg white omelet with spinach and like I ate full on food for free. Yeah, Thank you, George.
You got on with the chefs. They loved you. I don't know. They didn't.
Oh, sweet and sour cabbage.
No, it wasn't that. No.
For Christ's sake, I've made every soup. Okay, vegetable soup, split pea, mushroom barley, sweet and sour cabbage, and that's all they have right now on their menu.
Oh, well, no. This is missing then. This was
right.
It was some kind of spicy. I don't know what. You know what? I'll think of it at like 2 a.m. and I'll text you. I'll just text. I'll just text you a soup name, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's it."
Because now I'm obsessed. Now I need to know what you're talking about.
So, Amy, we're out of time again. Part 2 of the food episodes has concluded. Can you believe it?
I had so much fun.
Right? Me too. I hope you had fun too. You out there listening in your earbuds or your computer laptops or your I was gonna say toothless, your Bluetooth speakers and whatnot. We love that you join us. Thank you so much. And hit us up on our Twitter, Glitter Boom Girls Show on Twitter. Just search that. And we are also on YouTube. If you search Glitter Boom Girls, you can listen to our podcast on YouTube if you're not listening to that right now. And we will be back with some more of this goofy stuff next time.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks for listening, everybody. See ya.
Bye, guys.